Building a world through commitment and truth, the choice of everyone from the heart of the Philippines. This is G Newsbreaker. Broadcasting live at G News Center. Good day, Philippines. This is James Balay, your G News anchor. For the headlines, Piaget's cognitive development theory suggests children's stages of mental development. Russian psychologist Lev Vygotsky argues culture's major impact. And information processing theory focuses on how information is encoded to the memory. Piaget's theory of cognitive development suggested that children move through 4 different stages of mental development. His theory focused not only on acquiring knowledge but also on understanding the nature of intelligence. Through his observations of his children, Piaget developed a stage theory of intellectual development that included in the following distinct stages. First, the sensory motor stage from birth to 2 years old. It is where infant knows the world through their movements and sensations. Children learn about the world through basic actions such as sucking, grasping, looking, and listening. Infants learn that things continue to exist even though they cannot be seen separate beings from the people and objects, and realize that their actions can cause things to happen in the world around them. Second, the pre-operational stage ages from 2 to 7 years old. It is where children begin to think symbolically and learn to use words and pictures to represent objects. Also, children at this stage tend to be egocentric and struggle to see things from perspective of others. While they are getting better with language and thinking, they still tend to think about things in very concrete terms. Third one, concrete operational stage, in which ages from 7 to 11 years old. It is where children begin to think logically about concrete events. It is said that they begin to understand the concept of conversation. Their thinking becomes more logical and organized. During this stage, children also begin using inductive logic or reasoning from specific information to a general principle. And lastly, the formal operational stage ages from 12 years old and beyond. It is where teens begin to think more about various issues that require theoretical and abstract reasoning. Accordingly, the adolescent or young adult begins to think abstractly and reason about hypothetical problems. Because of this, the use of deductive logic or reasoning from a general principle to specific information is manifested. Piaget believed that children take an active role in the learning process, acting much like little scientists as they perform experiments, make observations, and learn about the world. As kids interact in the world around them, they continually add new knowledge, build upon existing knowledge, and adapt previously held ideas to accommodate new information. Much of Piaget's interest in the cognitive development of children was inspired by his observation of his own nephew and daughter. These observations reinforce his budding hypothesis that children's minds were not merely smaller versions of adults' minds. In another report, Russian psychologist Lev Vygotsky argued culture's major impact through his theory of cognitive development. Joy Tarnate tops the story.
Russian psychologist Lev Vygotsky argued that culture has major impact on child cognitive development. He pointed that language, writings, and social education towards adults and more learned peers can facilitate child potential for learning. Vygotsky added some key concepts like zone of proximal development, where child seeks assistance as support in the given task, egocentric speech, or practice for the child's inability to see from others' point of view, with the belief that children talk to themselves in order to solve problems, leading to engagement in the private speech, and that child could not reach higher cognitive level without instruction from more learned individuals. Joy Tarnate, reporting.
Thank you, Joy. G News will be right back after the commercial.
Hey there, little child. What's your name and how old are you now?
I'm Stacy and I am 5 years old.
Wow, what a lovely name. Okay, Stacy, today we're going to do something. Are you ready?
Yes,
What can you see on the table?
there are planets. Colors include blue, yellow, brown, and violet.
Can you count how many yellow colors are in there?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There are 8 our colors.
How can you make sure that there are 8 of them?
By putting them to one side so they don't get confused while counting because the colors are mixed together.
Wow, very good, Stacy. Children are given instructions or shown how to perform certain tasks. They organize the new information received in their existing mental schemas. They use this information as guides on how to perform these tasks and eventually learn to perform them independently. Getting instructions from someone are of immense importance on the cognitive development in early childhood. Children who are in the zone of proximal development for a particular task can almost perform the task independently, but not quite there yet. With a little help from certain people, they'll be able to perform the task successfully.
Let your child learn!
G-News is back! Information and processing theory focus on how information is encoded to the memory through cognitive domain. Jaya Tesado for the details.
Information processing theory is a cognitive theory that focuses on how information is encoded into our memory. The theory describes how our brains filter information from what we're paying attention to in the present moment, to what gets stored in our short-term or working memory and ultimately into our long-term memory. The first level of information processing theory is sensory memory. It relates to what we are experiencing right now through our senses. This encompasses all we can see, hear, feel, taste, and smell. The most crucial senses are sight and hearing according to most people. The human brain's resemblance to a computer is relatively restricted. Our ability to acquire and retain information as humans is influenced by a range of things ranging from our level of desire to our emotions, characteristics that have no bearing on message. Lastly, the information processing theory is a valuable foundation for putting up business training. It provides you with a technique for guaranteeing that your student receive more than a cursory understanding. This is Jaya Tesado report.
Thanks, Jaya. In showbiz news, an actress and entrepreneur Jerlyn Husay shares her inspiring business journey. Chai Gabio for the showbiz.
Hello, good day everyone. I have a new chick update. I have a surprise for you. The gorgeous, the successful businesswoman in our country, Miss Jerlyn Husay.
Hi, Miss Chai!
Hello, Miss Jerlyn. How are you?
I'm feeling great.
I feel so honored to have an exclusive interview for you, Miss Jerlyn. Thank you so much. Miss Jerlyn, before you become this successful businesswoman in our country, who is Jerlyn Husay before?
Well, myself before is just a simple girl who has huge dreams. Dreams that I can't imagine myself now. I raised in a poor family and we have no home that I can call as our own. That's why it motivates me to study hard, find a job, and build my own business. I can say that Jerlyn today is empowered, strong, and independent.
Such a humble person you are, Miss Jerlyn. For dreams, you said, how did you become successful? Like, your company is booming all over the country. You have many franchises. Like, how did it happen?
For me, in order for you to be successful, There are tips that I always follow and keep on advising and sharing to everyone. First is you need to educate yourself. Save money every day and don't buy stuff that you don't need. Be creative in everything you do. Take a risk. Don't be afraid of failing. Instead, learn from your mistake. Work smarter, not harder. And lastly, be patient and never give up. Ika nga nila, try until you succeed.
Wow, sana all! Thank you, Ms. Jorin, for your interview today.
Thank you, Miss Chai. Bye!
That's it for today's Chika. Chai Gabio for your Chika update. Back to you, James.
Thanks, Chai. That ends for today's report. This is James Palay with Joy Tarnate, Jay Atisado, and Chai Gabio. We are saying, bringing reports closer to the heart is our job. This is G Newsbreaker.
Safe, effective COVID-19 vaccines will offer protection against the virus, helping to prevent death and serious illness. But how do they actually work? Like other vaccines, such as the flu shot, COVID-19 vaccines will be given with a needle. This triggers an immune response in the body, which is the body's natural way of defending itself. The vaccine will strengthen your immune system by training it to recognise and fight against the virus that causes COVID-19. Vaccines may contain either killed or weakened versions of the virus that causes the disease, or a small part of the virus, such as a protein. There is no risk that you'll get the disease from a vaccine. When your immune system recognises this virus or parts of it in the vaccine as being foreign, it responds by creating memory cells and antibodies that will protect you against future infection or disease. As a result, you'll be less likely to have severe COVID-19 symptoms after a vaccination. To learn more, visit health.gov.au.